Benjamin Roberts was first founded in 1975, and I do know that the gentleman himself, Benjamin Roberts, who's now in his 70s, he started off with fashion, I think in Cardiff. Then he moved over to Swansea. He found that there was a market for bridal, and then he found that he was able to concentrate on the wholesale side and become the manufacturer. So when my family actually bought this company 6-7 years ago, we took on a very established company with great foundations, but that was possibly renowned as being very traditional. A lot of satin dresses, a lot of embroidery, lovely dresses, beautiful quality. And what's happened since then is we've brought Benjamin Roberts really into the 21st century, and we've now got 5 wonderful collections which range from the budget bride destination wedding up to the designer and then the cocktail. To give you an idea of where Benjamin Roberts has come from, we've brought some vintage dresses that are pre-1996 and almost set in the 80s, where we've got the large leg of mutton type of sleeves, the heavy embroidery, a lot of satin, and just a very heavier dress. Far more traditional, nowhere near as sexy as the dresses are now. Whereas the dresses that we tend to work with these days really do celebrate a woman's shape. They're much more sensual, just a sexier dress, but remembering that it's bridal. So what we're going to try and show you is the whole spectrum of dresses that Benjamin Roberts provides, and it is from the sort of the destination, less is more kind of simple dress, right up to the designer dress where you've got a lot of embellishment, you've got fine fabrics, and you've got a different shape as well with every bride. You've got a different taste and the budget. So all of that is something we have to take into consideration. There are 5 collections underneath the Benjamin Roberts umbrella, and there's a signature that really goes with each collection. Well, the Tia collection is a lightweight dress that's very easy to wear, comfortable, a brilliant price point. We're talking about £750 for the whole outfit. So something like this, it's chiffon. Chiffon is really flattering to any figure. It just hangs loosely and it's just a lovely fabric to wear. And then we've got a small amount of detailing on Tia. It's never a heavily embellished garment. It is a lightweight, say, fun dress. Things like this with a necklace can be worn or cannot, it's up to them. And then the other thing is that if you just turn around there, Carrie, we've got, you know, a puddle train, which is perfect for a destination type of wedding, maybe a second wedding where they don't really want the whole biz. And just neatly finished off. Inside we've got a built-in corset, so it's got lovely structuring, pulls the waist in, lifts the bust, gives everything a woman wants really. And then with Alex we've got a dress that is a taffeta, so it's got that crisp, full look to it. We've got a large skirt, but it's very flattering. And also the V neckline is different. There are some girls who prefer to wear a bra, and it helps if they've got something they can hide the straps with. But the lovely thing about Alex's dress, if you can turn around, Alex, is that at the back we've got a really lovely 1950s low-cut back. What we're trying to do at Benjamin Roberts is bring a designer dress to the bride, but for a third of the price. So a dress that can look expensive, but in fact is only going to maybe cost us £600, £750. In bridal, we have 2 seasons a year. And on average we'll bring out approximately 10 Tia dresses at Christmas time and then 10 in the summer. The next collection is the main signature collection, which is the Benjamin Roberts collection. This is the first one that was ever done, and that's the one that we really have worked with over the years. The basic fundamental thing about a Benjamin Roberts dress is that it looks rich, and yet it's only going to cost the bride most probably less than £1,000 in both cases here. This one is around £1,000, that one's maybe about £900. And you've got an inner corset which pulls the waist in. You do that first, then the zip goes up, so you've got this lovely tight waist, and it's the boning, the way it's cut, the fit even across here. I mean, this dress was not made for Carrie, but it looks like it was made, you know, made to measure. And then it's the flattering lines, the embellishment, the crystals, the kind of fabric. This is an unusual fabric, it's metallic taffeta. It's got a metal thread running through it, so a little bit like floristry wire, where if you scrunch it, it moulds in your fingers. So it's a love-hate relationship. People either love it or they hate it. It's very designer looking, and then the colour is dark white. So to some brides, with Carrie and her skin colour, she can take this. If she were fairer, she would need to go for a goldy colour because it would be too stark. So really, it's a big romantic dress. It's got an asymmetrical line to it because obviously it's pulling up on the one side. The way the whole thing is designed to flatter the figure. With Alex's dress, the reason I wanted to show you this is because whilst it's not as flamboyant as this dress is wonderful for any size, from 8 to size 30. In fact, all of our dresses come in those sizes. But a dress like this, again, flattens the tummy. It doesn't emphasise the tummy past here, so these folds will flatter that area. The boning, even the way this is cut. And you've got a taffeta fabric, lots of it. So you feel as if you're wearing a big dress, and it's expensive. And then with something like this particular dress, right, is popular with and without the train. So this train can in fact be removed, all right? So you've got a detachable train effect here, and some girls have worn it in different ways. So it comes off and you can have a clear view of the taffeta, and again, all the detailing, the way it catches the light, a little bit of embellishment, and just a romantic looking dress. After the Tia and the Benjamin Roberts collections, we've really got the designer side of the business. Now, the designer is Enzo Ani. He's based in LA, and he is a very talented young man. He brought out, about 2005, his first range of designer dresses, and that's what we know here in the UK as Constantina. They are a very opulent range of dresses. The fabrics are tremendous. The detail, sometimes a corsage will take 3 weeks to make. Those dresses have got everything on them that you could possibly want. And we're talking there now about sort of £2,000, maybe £1,200 to £2,000. This collection now, we're talking about a designer side of the company, and we're very lucky to have somebody called Enzo Ani, who is a young man who has designed 3 collections for us now. This collection is called Blue. It's one of the latest ones, only been around for 2 years. It's growing very fast in popularity, and I think it's because it's got a little bit of a contemporary edge to it. It doesn't tend to have too much embellishment. He looks at design and shape predominantly, and then fabric. So for instance, with this one, this is Casablanca. We're looking at tightly stitched chiffon, very soft chiffon, which is why it can actually fold so tiny. And then we've also got an applique and a lace that hasn't got any embellishment on it, and we're finding that's something that is definitely growing. But then to put a bit of sparkle, this particular jacket is Eleni. It doesn't come with the dress, it's a separate item. And for the dress, we're looking at about £1,200 for the dress. The jacket as well, we're talking about £500 for the jacket because of the way it's jewelled. The mermaid shape, the fact that it really does emphasise the shape, you know, out and then in and then out and then in again. So if you just want to turn around, please. The other thing with this is that this particular jacket can go with any dress, and the idea is that it's a very romantic, designer-looking piece. And then with this particular dress, this is a taffeta. Berlin is the name. It's again swathed over to the one side, very flattering for all sizes. Just a smattering of beadwork, more so up the top, tiny bit down the bottom. And then this little jacket is called Esme, and again, it doesn't come with the dress. We try and make the jackets interchangeable, but it's a really sweet little jacket made from cut chiffon and tulle, and you almost can't bear to, you know, you just want to touch it. What I would hope to think is that one of the reasons why we have become so successful is that we really do care, and our stockists, basically the shops that the brides are going to, they are ambassadors for our collections. So they need to believe in us. They need a manufacturer that will deliver on time and deliver a good product. And then we have to leave it up to the shops to actually look after the brides. So it's a hand-in-hand relationship. It's two-way traffic. And I think because we really do care, we're a family business as well, and the staff here Everybody has got a hand in that whole process. So when the dress leaves here as a finished item, the shop picks up there, does the fitting, and then the final wedding day. And then we have brides who send our pictures into the website so we can actually have real brides in our dresses. We hand finish the dresses, we make sure that they are perfect. It's not something that's just coming in and going out again in a bag. We take great pride in the dress. We know that a bride has saved a lot of money to get to this point. £1,000 is a lot of money. We're at the top end now of the collections. This is the Constantina collection, which is by Enzo Arni as well. So he's done 3 collections. There's nothing spared on fabric, on jewels, on crystals, maybe Swarovski crystals. The amount of work that goes into these dresses, from the design to the actual finish. So with something like this is Emily, a dress that was launched only a few months ago. Is in the shops now, and again trying to move away from a strapless neckline. But we've got two layers going on as well. We've got the actual sheath of the dress, and then we've got a top layer. So the idea is that when the bride moves, you've got the train and the dress falling around her, and then the body of the dress inside moving. It's a very romantic looking dress. And then all of this here is actually embellished, but it's almost hidden. So it's a fashion trend. We've got something here that isn't actually on full view, whereas on the top it is. And if you want to turn around, we've got a lot of crystals. We've got a train that's on the top. The expense in a dress like this comes down to the amount of beadwork, the sheer amount of embroidery in there, and then you've got the beautiful romantic effect here, and that's where the cost is. So we're talking about £2,000 now for this dress. You can turn around again, please, Carrie. And it's just emphasising a bride shape again. But I think this might be quite a lovely, refreshing neckline after all the strapless. Right, with this particular dress, this has been in the shops now for a few months. And the lovely thing about this is that you've got, again, similar thing where you've got the sheath of the dress inside, but you've got a top layer. So if a bride likes the idea of wearing something that's fitted, but she's not too confident, she can actually have almost like a camouflage effect over the top, which is also very, very flattering. This is the softest tulle. You can perhaps see how soft that is. It's the expense. You know, these are the best fabrics. You turn around, please, Alex. And then, again, we've got a very soft effect with the train and the cotton embellishment. That's the other interesting thing about this, is the actual cotton here. It's not your average embroidery. Whilst I'm not the designer, I do work and I do know how the designers work. And sometimes it comes from inspiration that they will have. Often it can be fabric. It might be an embellishment as well. I do know that has sometimes triggered the inspiration for a design of a dress. Once they've got the fabric and then how they work with it, they'll create a toile, and then they'll cut the pattern from the toile. And it's basically a whole process where the inspiration through to the toile, through to the finished item, and then when it goes to market with all the embellishment, it's a whole process. This dress is a masterpiece. It's a Diana dress. It's been on the market now for about a year. It's enjoyed incredible popularity because for £1,500 it looks the business. And what a lot of brides like to do is consider wearing the ivory vintage belt, which is all handmade, in the daytime. And then what some of them have done is they've chosen in the evening to change the accessory and go for the black, the feather grey, with maybe something in their hair, even changing their shoes, picking up the train at the back, and they've got a party dress for the evening. So this is something that is offered to some of the brides. The other thing we've noticed is that more dresses are coming through now with self-colour embellishment. In other words, there's no beading on the main dress. You've just got a focal point of the belt itself with some beading. You've got 2 layers again, so you've got this lovely movement going through. You've got the fabric underneath, then the applique on the top, and again, very, very little embellishment. So it's got that couture, less is more, expensive look about it. And then this dress is Dominique, and about the same time, 12 months. This is a little jacket that's actually detachable, so they can take it off if they wanted to. But we're just trying to create a softness over the shoulders, something that's a little bit different. This is a French taffeta. It's a very expensive taffeta, and it's got that lovely sheen on it. The bows are very fashionable, almost an empire line, and then the side pleating, again, very flattering. The other lovely thing about this particular dress is that you've got the dress, and then you've got this wonderful romantic effect with the tulle train. When a bride has fallen in love with a particular dress, what we try to do is accommodate it so that we can possibly get her that dress. You can't wish a dress out of nowhere, but if it's a popular dress, if I know that we've got orders, what we'll try and do is we'll juggle stock, we'll try and make her dream come true, and it can really make a difference. It's good for the shop, because if the shop can work with us, if they know that Benjamin Roberts will keep stock, when the bride comes in and her wedding's only 6 weeks away, straight away they know that they've possibly got a dress that can deliver on time. Many manufacturers have to manufacture abroad and bring their goods into the UK, and that's really where the bridal market predominantly is, and the bride has got used to getting a dress for £1,000. If she were to have that dress in the UK, made in the UK, she'd have to pay about £3,000. So we're very proud of the fact that, yes, our manufacturing is abroad, but the finishing process is here in the UK. And it's the pride with which we work with the dresses. You're going to see the quality control, the workmanship, the attention to detail, and then the customer service, so that from when the dress arrives in the UK to when it leaves here from our business here in South Wales and goes out to the stockist, we know that that dress is covered from all angles. What I'm going to show you now is really a journey of a Benjamin Roberts dress. So when they arrive here from our manufacturer, and what we do with them, how we treat them, until they finally arrive at the shop ready for the bride to wear on her day. First thing that we would do is we would unpack the dresses. We want to inspect them, make sure the quality is absolutely perfect, and then take them through the system, maybe steam them, keep them quarantined until they're ready to go out. If there's something that we need to do with the dress, maybe check a little bit of beadwork. If there's a tiny, tiny flaw in the fabric, we'll make sure that we get it right. What we're looking for really with quality, so looking at embellishment, are the beads sewn on tightly, because you don't want them to come loose, which is, with something like this, you need to think about that. The fabric, are there any flaws in the fabric? Because especially with silk, you've got a natural slub in the fabric, which is part of it. But if it's a softer fabric, especially something like this, it can snag, just to make sure that everything's perfect. So what we've got here is we've got another aspect of quality control, where we're checking the fabric and the beading, and if any beads have come loose, we're just making sure that they are put back. And so here is doing very intricate work. We keep stocks of beads so that we can make sure it's absolutely perfect. I think one very important aspect about this kind of work is that whilst this dress has been imported, we're looking at a dress that is £1,000 for a bride. We hand finish the dresses, we make sure that they are perfect. It's not something that's just coming in and going out again in a bag. We take great pride in the dress. We know that a bride has saved a lot of money to get to this point. £1,000 is a lot of money. And so the finished product is as best and as perfect as we can get it. So what's going on over here is that part of the quality control is that we've got seamstresses employed here in South Wales, where we may have a flaw in the fabric, a tiny, tiny flaw. We're talking of maybe ½ an inch, but because of the retail cost of the dress, we have to make sure that that flaw is not there. So it might mean removing the panel, recutting it. We have all the fabric, and then we need to have qualified seamstresses that can replace that panel so the dress can go out brand new. So what happens next here? We've got a net working on a silk dress, and with the very nature of silk, sometimes even if there is a slub, some people don't always understand that it's a natural flaw. So we will try to position the pleats in such a way where it looks as near perfect as possible. And so that's what we're just doing here. We're repositioning the pleats. The final stage now of the dress, having been through quality control, is that it's steamed before it's left to air, and then it's packed up and sent to the shop by courier. So at the moment that's what Kath is doing. We're just making sure we get all the creases out, and the dress goes into a box with lots of tissue paper. We try not to crumple it so that when she gets to the shop she can put it on the bride for the fitting, and away she goes. This is the side of the business that you wouldn't normally see. The administrative, accountancy, the customer service. And behind every great business we've got to have this office set up. So downstairs we had obviously all the production, the dress, the journey of the dress, but upstairs now we've got 4 people on customer services. The importance of having customer service in this sort of industry is that whilst we're a wholesaler, we are looking after nearly 400 stockists. They need to have a point of call, someone to talk to if there's a problem, and this is really where it all happens. And so the customer service side is really important. The accountancy side of any business is really important, and the IT side, because we need to have systems that can cope with the demand that we give it. So that in the end, it's the pretty dress, it's the customer service, and it's the quality. With the future, we've got something really exciting happening, and that is that with all the expertise and experience that we've gained from years in bridal, they've taken, Enzo Arni in particular, has taken the different fabrics, the different cuts, and put them into colours and turned them into evening dresses. Now that might be a short evening dress or 5 inches longer just to the calf. It hasn't got a train, but it's still got the same structure. And it's a very exciting market to go in, because it might be mother of the bride, she wants to look sexy on her day. She's got a good figure and she wants to flaunt it. You might have a bridesmaid's dress or 5 bridesmaids where they all have got a different shape and they want to be different. That's only just been launched. So that's a really new thing out there in the shops at the moment, brand new. We've just won a couple of awards for Best Bridal Manufacturer. That gives us enormous prestige and esteem, and it's good for the staff, it's good for everybody. And I think we're very conscious that it's difficult for brides at the moment. You know, they don't know what the future's like, even financially. Maybe friends and families are saying, oh, don't put that deposit down on that dress because you don't know what's going to happen with your money. But, you know, everybody's going to get married and it should be a wonderful day. There's a lot of expense involved. So future-wise, we're just trying to keep one eye on the price and one eye on the design, and then just make sure that the customer service is there, because people love to talk to a real person. And that's what we've got here, is that they can really pick up the phone, and our shops that have our dresses really do know that we'll look after them.